Hey guys, Jeremy National Fire Radio. We're back. 3 o'clock live open mic session. God, I'm on amplified volume over there. People are going to hate us.
Yeah, it's all right. You're good.
Yeah.
Everybody loves your raspy voice.
Not really. It's been a long 2 days at the show. We got Lydia behind us with Mercedes. And to our right and your left, a man that, well, he's making kind of an impact in the American Fire Service. Taylor from Taylor's Tins. Hi, buddy.
Hi.
Hey.
Hi.
We're not making this an awkward one because we got to go quick. Okay. We did a nice little podcast like a couple weeks ago when we were in Texas. It was a blast.
Yeah, it was good times.
Dude, I can't do this already with you.
What?
Why, are you nervous? You look like you're shaking a little bit. Like
I thought this wasn't going to be awkward.
It is awkward.
Raise your right hand and repeat after me.
So listen, man, you're walking the show with Lucas and Jenna and Jen, and you guys are walking around, and we were just talking about it off camera, but there's something to it, man. Like, your tins are everywhere.
Yeah, that's been the goal this whole trip, is to just walk around and find all the tins and take pictures and see all our friends.
I love it. And you have built quite a culture and a following, because I think what we always talk about with you is the value proposition, and you're always giving.
Yeah.
You're a giver.
You are a giver.
Stop. You're going to make me blush.
What do you make of this? The big show. Like, being here right now, walking around, seeing your tin on the outside of this building and 30 feet tall.
It was a pretty big deal for me. I'm not going to lie. It's been a long 5 years, and I'm working every single day towards what the goal is. I don't know what the end result is, but seeing that tin out there on the side of the building, that's pretty amazing.
Well, I know that you're generous as always. You've given us a few tins to give away today with the Super 2. We are a Mercedes Textiles booth, and you work with them. You work with a lot of manufacturers in promoting their product through your tins.
Yeah.
It's a home run, brother.
It's fantastic. We do a lot of business to business, just as much as we do to the end consumer. And being able to walk into some of these big name companies and see that they're also using our product to promote their brand, we're able to facilitate that, and it's pretty incredible. It's special.
Yeah, we've talked about it before. The reason why we latched onto each other early on, we went through this journey together. Like 4 to 5 years ago, we started coming through and navigating that social media space, and I've watched your company flourish. We've tried to keep up with you. It's impossible. But I will say that through all of that comes an incredible friendship.
Thank you for agreeing to come here with us with your status.
And thank you for being my friend.
Yes.
Thank you. That's nice.
It's an honor.
Right.
Thanks for taking my calls.
Yes. You know what? I'll keep taking your calls.
So listen, I know it's not easy for you to put yourself out there, put yourself on camera like you do. I know you're a humble individual, and you put out a very good product, and you work hard, and that's important to you. And for you to sit here today, I know it's not the easiest thing, or something you probably don't want to do.
I hate it.
I just like you being here, though. But listen, thank you for opening the show with us, guys. Taylor's from Taylor's Tins. If you're not familiar with where they are, any social media platform you get to, you'll find them. Thanks for the donations, the sponsorships, your friendship, and most importantly, introducing me to Lucas, because I really like him.
He's way better than me, and you can keep him. If you come by the Mercedes booth and find Lydia, she's got a handful more of the tins that we did for the Kraken. Come by. She's giving away a few more of those, and say hi.
Awesome. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate you.
So much, man.
Love you guys. Bye.
I'm looking out in the crowd. I got Steve Faulkner over here. I want to bring Steve in real quick. 6 truck boss. Let's talk to him. So some of the coolest things we get to.
Man.
What is this?
It's some stuff.
So some of the coolest things we do, or we get to do, is we get to meet people from all over the industry, right?
Sir?
You and I, good brother, absolutely. You and I have connected. We've talked many of times.
Yep.
And it's a place like this where we can get together and finally meet and put a face to the name.
It's nice.
And
it's finally about time. You too.
Yeah.
I've seen you all over the place.
I know.
And hug it out,
Yeah,
for sure. Steve, give me a little background about yourself, brother. How much do you love the fire service? Where do you come from?
Sure, love it a lot. So I am currently a lieutenant in D.C. I work Truck 6, and been in the fire service now in D.C. 15 years. Actually, we just hit our 15-year anniversary today, so that's exciting.
Congratulations.
Congratulations,
Awesome.
yeah.
Class, almost there. 10 more to go.
Nice.
And then but 20 years total. I started at PG County in Bladensburg.
Yeah.
So I've been there for a while, and I love it, man. It's like
Real
just
trucks
being
bend in
able
the
to-
middle. Sorry.
I agree. High five on that one. Real trucks do bend in the middle. It's been an interesting ride so far. I mean, it's nice to meet people and get out and do training with everybody, and come out to events like this and just get different backstories about how people's departments do things, and how they train and what they're looking for in individuals, and so it's been a great experience so far.
You had the opportunity to teach.
I did, yeah.
Talk about that experience.
Yeah, what did you teach?
Yeah, so I just finished a class this morning called Make Truck Work Great Again,
Outstanding.
yeah, and the whole purpose of the class was really just to kind of hammer down on some of the fundamentals that come along with being responsible on a truck company, being on an aggressive truck company, but also shying away from the activities that some would, call cowboyish or uncoordinated. And I really think that, even if you just take the essentials classes, the information that they give in essentials isn't really indicative of everything that a truck company should be doing. And I honestly don't think that the amount of work that a truck can do to affect the outcome of a fire is discussed very often.
Having been a volunteer in Hyattsville, Company 1, I've learned so much from some of the DC truckmen that have come through there. And the tips, tricks, and hacks that you guys have in DC, I cannot remember the guy's name, but I remember him telling me, hey, if you're hook and can, bring an extra hook or two with you, because once the barman forces the door in this garden style apartment, we're going to want to do something, and we're not going to want to use a Halligan bar to hook the ceiling. So.
Yeah, that's 100% correct. There's been a lot of guys like I love to teach, but I don't want to take credit for anything. I think with everybody, everything you learn has come from someone somewhere, different level of experience, different calls they run. And I've been fortunate in my career to work with a lot of great guys and learn a lot of really cool tips and tricks. And, through the course of my career, I'll come up with a couple things here and there that I'm like, oh, we can change this up, maybe do a little differently. But most of the time, it's like the senior guys that are coming down with like great information that we can pass down. I mean, like one of the things I actually didn't get a chance to talk about it today in the class just because of the time. We're limited to an hour and 45 minutes, so you got to kind of shorten it down. But I got some information from a gentleman who retired one time. We were just having a long discussion about basement fires and row houses, and as simple as that seems of a conversation, one of the questions he asked me when I was like fairly new on the job was, "You're the barman on a ladder truck, first due on a basement fire. What are you going to do?" So in my head, as a young guy, I'm like, "I'm going to force the door."
Yeah.
He's like, "Awesome, cool, force the door. Then what?" And I'm like, "Search." He's like, "No." I'm like, "Vent." He's like, "No." So I'm like, "Man, what does he want me to do?" Well, he was on the job when Cherry Road happened, back when we lost our two firefighters in '99. So what he was telling me was, if you're riding bar in a ladder truck, once you get in the house, you got to go to the first floor rear, because in our SOGs, the second due truck's responsible for the basement. So if you don't open up the first floor rear, the second due truck's not opening up the first floor rear. Who's doing it? It comes up the stairs. It's going to come through the path that you came in, which is the front door. So it's like little stuff like that I've been able to take, put into a class, talk to people about, and just kind of get people to kind of think about how their actions can dictate the outcome of the fireground.
What fuels your love for that? Like, what fuels your love for training and pushing yourself and then wanting to put yourself out there to share the message?
Honestly, it's the look of wow when you see that on someone's face, because that's the look that I had when guys told me stuff like that. And I know for a fact that I wouldn't be half of where I am now in my career if it wasn't for people going out of their way, trying to do it without recognition, without anything else, no fanfare, but without those guys going out of their way to better me, out of their own time with no additional compensation or anything like that, then that kind of fuels me to give back. It's like I've had so many people help me along the way, and I'm like, I just want to give back to that.
Steve, you're a member of Bladensburg. You remember Bladensburg, right? Did you start out as a live-in there, or?
I did start out as a live-in there. So I was at Cottage City for a little bit.
Okay.
And then when Cottage City went to Brentwood, I went over to Bladensburg and lived in there.
Can you talk about like the importance of these live-in programs? Because I think it's something. It's still the best kept secret in America. On the fire service.
I got a ton of experience living at the firehouse.
Sure.
And I can't even. I mean, we went all volunteer in '04, so. I mean, if you figure you're there after work, I was there during the week and there on weekends, you're running box after box after box and whatever else. And you start to understand what teamwork is, cohesion, discipline. You start learning from guys that have more time than you. You got younger guys coming in, so now you got to step up and help teach them. And so living in there was my first really experience at being in a disciplined, well-run firehouse.
Yeah.
And so being able to take that and then go into an academy and then become a career firefighter, it was almost, I don't want to knock the academy, but it was easy. It was fun. You got to go in there and just get to the firehouse and continue the same thing that you've been doing. Obviously, when you get hired, you got to drop the whole volunteer thing. We don't care where you were, stuff like that. But it was a good experience, and I wouldn't trade it for the world. I mean, it's great.
I think one of the craziest things that I learned was company pride being at one, because I remember going to 7 boxes and seeing 1 and 9, and I remember the first time I was facing somebody from 9, and they just were like, keep going, keep going, and we had that, but that healthy competition made us better firefighters.
Absolutely, yeah. And I don't want to name drop guys from one either, but Dave Smith and Nick Bensall, both of those individuals, were both in my academy class.
Dave Smith's a good friend of mine. I love the guy. He is a solid brother. And
so it was awesome to get to go through the academy with him. And Dave's actually truck driver in my battalion now, different shift. But so I'm running to him every now and then. And Nick is on my shift. So we run in the same battalion, so we run runs together all the time, and it's cool to grow up with those guys when we were little kids, and now we're old men with gray hair and balding and a whole nine. It's good. So
awesome.
Yeah, man.
What's next for you?
Next up, I'm gonna do some writing. Champ got in my head this morning, and he was slamming it down my throat about writing some more articles. So
good for you.
Definitely gonna do that and do some more teaching. I got a guy this morning. I told him if it's with my schedule with my kids and everything and work, I don't mind teaching. I don't do it for a bunch of money and everything else. I'm like, if you pay for my flight or hotel or whatever, I'll come out and do it. I don't care. As long as somebody gets something from the class, and as long as I can, work it into my kids' schedules as a dad, then I'm all about it, man.
I love it.
We're gonna make truck work.
We're gonna make truck work great again. That's what we're gonna do.
Well, listen, thank you. It's great to finally meet you after through lots of conversation and so on. I'm sure this won't be our last interaction.
Absolutely
for sure. Real quick, where can people find you? They want to reach out?
You want to reach out, you can find me.
Truck work great again?
You can find me on Instagram. That's the easiest way. It's 6 Truck Boss, all spelled out. So there's also a Truck 6 Boss. That's not me. That's my friend Chuck. So don't ask him. He won't know what I'm talking about. But yeah, awesome. 6 Truck Boss, Facebook. I'm sorry, not Facebook. Instagram or Twitter or via email. It's truckman14570@gmail.com.
Awesome. So, Steve, thank you for joining us, man.
Absolutely, bro.
Pleasure. Absolutely, man. Enjoy your time.
You guys be safe.
Yeah. Dave Mellen, you're up. Let's go. Dave Mellen, let's go. I know we got it. So here's so Dave Mellen. It's this is like high maintenance type stuff. So we gotta roll out the red carpet.
Lost art of being on time.
I was kind of on time almost.
So listen, let's talk about this, right? Because we got a lot of other more important people that we want to bring in. So we got to get you out of here quick.
Yeah.
But
all right.
No, I'm kidding. Dave's become a dear friend, like many that have sat down with us. Why we get to do this is because we've developed friendships along the way. And you're one of those guys. You traveled with us to South Carolina for a trip.
Absolutely.
That was fun.
That was fun. There was lots and lots of fun.
Yeah. So we used to do, we did, and we're rolling them back out. We used to do on taps where we would rent out a bar and bring guys in to do speak and teach and rent the place out and throw a brotherhood bash, if you will. You joined us for a South Carolina trip that Rob and I put together, and so on. We had a lot of fun. But talk to me about what you do, where you are, why you're here, and why you have this mustache.
Yeah. So the mustache is an easy one because my wife absolutely hates it.
We love you, Kate.
Everybody loves you, honey. But no, so I actually did not know that I could grow a mustache, and so it was about 2 years ago I decided that I was just going to give it a shot, and it just kept getting better and better with time. It's like fine wine, and so it got this life of its own. And then when I did finally shave it off, I felt like I kind of lost my identity, right? And so a lot of people that either follow me on social media or friends of mine, they're like, "Hey man, you got to grow this thing back."
Right.
And so it's here to stay. I mean, she's going to get over it eventually. But no, so I live in Kansas City, and I own Valor Fire Training, career fireman in the suburb of KC, and then I volunteer as well. And I go around the country and I teach stuff that I'm passionate about.
What are you passionate about?
So, a lot of things. So I'm passionate about medical response to the Mayday, right? So when we sit there, we talk about firefighters getting hurt. For me, when I learned how to do survival and Mayday stuff, we bring the victim out, we drop them at the door, we give high fives, and we reset and do the next scenario. For me, when I've had firefighters actually get hurt, nobody really knows what the next thing to do is,
right?
Because we don't practice that. So we came up with the class, Medical Response to Mayday. We go around, we do it. And it's everything that happens after you bring them out. So whether it's diabetic emergency, trauma, stroke, heart attack.
Firefighter CPR.
Yeah, firefighter CPR.
It's so awesome to see that that is becoming a standard curriculum for departments, right?
Mainstream, right? Which those guys that came up with it, amazing guys. Reached out to them, said, hey, I want to be able to incorporate that into my classes, and they helped me. You know, they gave me all the information, and they're awesome to work with. So we do that. We do some leadership stuff, and it's kind of overall anything that we are passionate about. All of our instructors can pick their own classes.
I love it.
Well,
Go ahead, Rob.
And I think the one thing that we were initially attracted to you by, not your mustache, but the lost art of realistic fire training, because you did that one conference where I saw you on YouTube and you talked about how we are failing our new members and not providing a realistic and training environment.
Absolutely.
Because we're going to teach them to take an Elkhart brass nozzle and open it up and then close it down because you can't put the fire out.
Sure.
And I thought that was just pivotal, and that we were going to start looking into that as a fire service.
So, and here's how I know that my job is never going to be done with that, right? Like with the realism in training. I just went to a live burn for a educational institution a few months ago, and the department that was hosting it still would not let us flow real nozzles with real pressure. They gave us a half-inch tip and said, don't flow it over 40 PSI because we don't want to break any of the tiles, we don't want to hurt the building.
Right.
And so, you had these students going in there with like 2 fingers, spraying the nozzle everywhere, right? Thinking that that's how it is because that's all they know.
Yeah.
So, we still have a lot of room to work, but that's one of the things that you guys have also been passionate about.
Listen, the passion is just talking about how good the job is.
Yeah.
Right? I think too often we get in our own heads and then we get we fall into a place where we don't talk enough about how great this actually is. Like, I'm here because I enjoy it. Like, I was just talking about it before. I met these couple guys over here. They're around the corner. We've had a blast. We met him last year. We did some stuff this year together. He's going to come up in a minute. But we just, good conversation. It's fun. Like, we're brothers. We're family.
Yeah.
Like, we're supposed to enjoy this, right?
That's the way it should be.
And I know for you, you're a big personality. And I know you get around. I don't mean that in a weird way. I mean that in a way.
My wife is watching.
All right, well, I'm sorry.
It's all right,
But what I'm getting at is that I know you like to take pictures everywhere you go with
Yes.
people that you see.
Yes.
And, I can say the last few nights, man, I wish I did too, because there were so many great people that I've had conversations with to document the trip, the journey, and everything else. But memories are important. I know you like to do that. Talk to me about why.
So, a lot of it is I grew up in an era where we took pictures of everything, right? And so for me, like the first group of firefighters that I worked with, one of the guys always carried a disposable camera in his bunker pocket. And I said, why do you carry that? Like, you take pictures at the fire? He goes, no, it's just for us. Like, what do you mean for us? He goes, when I come back out with my crew, I take a picture of us together, you know? And so a lot of departments don't have that culture. They don't catch pictures after jobs. And so it's super important to me for a couple reasons. One, because when I get older, I want to be able to see what I did, and be able to look back on it. The other thing is, and I'll talk about Avery real quick. We had a firefighter on my department. She was tragically killed in a vehicle accident. I actually pumped her first fire that she was on 2 weeks before she died. And when we got back to the station, we were going to take a group photo, and we ended up catching another run. So we almost didn't. And I said, no, everybody stop. Before you go to the bathroom, grab your water, coffee, whatever, get back over here. We all stood behind the rig and took a picture. And 2 weeks later, she died. That's the only picture that we have of her, right? But that's the thing, is like, you got to take pictures because you don't know who's going to move away, who's going to do what,
The memories,
who's going to die.
Absolutely. Good. Dave, thank you, man. We're trudging along here, so I wish we'd have more time. But
all good, man.
So where can people find you? Valor Fire Training. Tell them where they can find you. They want to reach out. What you got going on next? What's next?
Yeah, so we're actually going to go do another Hot Wings episode. So
Are you?
yeah, we're going to do the hot seat. So
I did it last year.
woo, it's going to be hot.
Yeah.
It's going to be hot.
Good.
But yeah, Valor Fire Training on YouTube, Facebook. We have the Valor Fire Training podcast on all the major platforms. So look us up.
Awesome. Thank you, Dave. I
Thanks,
appreciate you jumping in. Good. Let's grab the bearers of the oath real quick. Let's grab Shane and Webster, and then we'll jump over to Tractor Drawn. We'll get Andy in here. So we got a lineup. Sit tight. I know you're important. I know it's going to take a little bit.
Hey, Rob. How are you, bro? How's it going?
Hang in there.
That's nice to meet you. We're going to get close.
Coming after you.
Guys, that's okay.
Coming
We're
after you.
consenting.
Oh, what's up, fellas? What's up? What's up? Hey, Jeremy.
Shane Webster, I'm sorry, man. How are you? Good.
Great, man. Doing
So
good.
thanks for hopping in. We're going to do like 10 minutes, man. We're just rolling along, live stream, spreading the word. Bearers of the oath.
Yeah.
What is it?
Best thing ever for me.
I love that, man. That's awesome. Talk to me.
It's family. This is what it is. It's Dave. I kind of caught a little bit of what Dave was saying, and it's guys like Dave Mellen, the guys I'm sitting around, and all the people here that like-minded people that take and let me be a part of their family and their crowd and get to do the coolest things in the fire service.
Awesome.
Help other people. So pretty cool. I'm probably the luckiest guy in this whole place out of 30,000 firefighters. I'm probably the luckiest one.
No, I'd take that card, man. You might be number 2. I'm certainly number 1.
I'll take that. I'll take it.
I'm telling you, man.
125 over here.
But I agree with you. Like, and what I love about all this is the fact that, like, all these guys. I mean, we keep throwing out this like-minded thing, but like humble, proud, right? Ownership of it, right? Like, I am so humbled and proud to be here and to be able to do this and to meet guys like yourselves and everybody else that has been willing to sit with us and talk to us over the last 4.5, 5 years. I mean, this has just been a hell of an experience, man. I'm lucky, you know?
Yeah, I do. I'm very. It makes this last 2 days nothing but the hair on my arms have just stayed in that chilled position. I'm just continue to be humbled over and over. I never expected some things that's happened for us this last couple of days, and it's not just Bears of the Oath. It's command and control, Webby's business that he takes and enables Bears of the Oath to take and do other things with because it is a nonprofit. So it's allowed us to take and go out and start training with other departments and making sure that we're able to take care of all the guys every time. Because you're doing it once or twice a year. That's a lot. I mean, and then you got guys that are taking their time off work, time away from families if they don't bring them with them, and they do it for free every time.
Yeah.
But we've had opportunities come up to where we can start going to other departments and hosting conferences there and then
Well, talk to me about the conferences, right? So Bears of the Oath, you guys have been putting out conferences.
Right.
Talk to me about what like a lot of people that listen and that are tuning in, they go to conferences. They don't see the behind the scenes and what it takes to throw them and the hard work and dedication that goes into putting a conference together, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, excuse me. Yeah, that's I think the first one was probably the hardest. The first time we ever done it. But it's really gotten easier since then because we met a lot more people, made a lot more friendships, relationships, partnerships because it takes a lot of money to take and do anything, and so we'll just continue to grow, but it's not really hard to do because we got really good partners and friends that continue to make sure anytime we need something, there's somebody we can always reach out to, and they always take and provide it for us, whether if it's money or equipment or facilities. I mean, I'm always so humbled because we get to go do this there, and then when we get there, they're just as humble to have us there, man, and that means a lot because we made friendships with people from 21 states.
How much gratitude is there? Because like Jeremy and I had this conversation about National Fire Radio, and I hear about Bears of the Oath all the time. Like it's almost like an infomercial that comes into my brain, but it's good. It's people who are like, yeah, have you checked this out? Have you gone to this conference? But for you and your guys' position, I mean, like how much gratitude do you have that you're able to facilitate this, that this has gone and channeled through you, that you're delivering this message?
Oh man, it's I don't feel like there's enough thank yous in me. No, honestly,
absolutely not.
I don't feel like that. I don't think I could ever thank as many people that's done what they've done for us to allow us to take and all it is, man. It's about helping each other and caring about each other.
Yeah.
People, and I get a little pissed off all the time because people still fight from that. And it's just simple. It's okay to care about each other. So. But that's the gratitude for me is to see what everybody does to make it happen for us and to making sure we don't let them down.
The oath, right? The Bears of the Oath, there's an oath,
that's
right?
Correct.
And I know that your crew, your cadre, everybody that makes the Bears of the Oath. I mean, I've met guys from all over that have your hat.
Right.
They talk about it, right? Webster, maybe talk about that a little bit for me, man. I'd love to hear from you. Just like the Bears of the Oath, what it stands for.
So it sums back up to family. It really does. I was talking to some guys last night from the other side of the country. We are nowhere near where they hail from. These guys are from Milwaukee. Met a kid last night from U of I, and they've heard of us. They know what we're about, and they know what we're about because the quality of the people that are taking the message back. We've given them that fire, and they've run with it. We've made good friends in Texas. We're going to take the show on the road to Texas.
Right.
We're going to take the show on the road to other states. We're going to go help folks establish this in Tennessee. because it's the right thing for the right reasons. You know, the oath just lines out what we do and why we do it and how we do it. And at the end of it, it's don't complain and do a good job for the right reasons. That's what it is. And if we just simply do that, whatever you need for you and your family, that's why we're going to do it. The training is the vehicle to get to you. I tell everybody that. The training is a vehicle to get to you. And I can get to you and your kids and your family. And then your kids and your family and you can come hang out with my family. And that's what makes our group and our mindset that much different than other things. Because I'm not focusing on the money. I'm not focusing on the tangible product. I'm focusing on the relationships and what they can lend to us, we can learn from them, and then what we can give back to them through our passion. And by God, we're passionate. This is happening.
Yeah.
I mean, it's what we're all about.
I think one of the things that I pick up from that, and I think of like David Woodward from Missouri doing revolutionary fire tactics, come as strangers, leave as family.
Absolutely.
And everybody who's involved with Bearers of the Oath or who's attended the conference has definitely implied that family atmosphere, that you guys are a phone call away.
Absolutely. And you know, I told somebody 5 minutes ago, I said, once you become part of our family, because you help us, you're in forever. And family's family. You know, thick as thieves, what we're going to do.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I love it. Thank you for sharing the message. Where can people find you? How do they find out more about Bearers of the Oath?
Bears of the Oath is on Facebook. We have a group and a page. I'm not really internet Facebook as savvy as everybody else, but I can post stuff. But there, Bears of the Oath 20 at gmail.com. I got an Instagram, but I don't even know how to do it. So it sounds dumb. But
Or go to the website.
Yeah, and go to Bears of the
Good.
Oath.
And they can see the next conference, everything you have going on,
Absolutely.
and so on.
Yep.
Be announced in about 2 weeks.
Yep.
Fantastic. Shane Webster,
Thanks,
thanks for
man.
joining us,
Thanks,
man.
man.
I appreciate it. Thanks for
Thanks,
sitting down with us today.
Yep,
Good.
thank you, guys.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate it, Rob.
Steve
guys.
Crothers, Tractor Draw and Aerial. Who's coming? Are you bringing Josh up with you, or are you making him stay off camera? No.
Yeah.
Steve, get in here. So I have had the fortune to work with you yesterday.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
Let's do an introduction. Steve Crothers, TractorDrawAndAerial.com. Come from the West Coast. It's like over there.
Should I curse? I feel like I should be cursing.
No, we're keeping this PG.
Okay, all right,
PG.
good to know. Okay.
Anyway, give me a little background about who you are and why you're sitting next to me.
Well, yeah, Tractor Drawn. We have the fortunate, benefit of going out and spending time with firefighters and talking about a really cool discipline, which is the Tractor Drawn Aerial. What a cool piece of apparatus, and we have the fortunate, benefit of being able to show people how to drive that thing and
Right.
how to operate it. And it's just an amazing opportunity and time to be able to deal with firefighters. And it doesn't matter where we go, firefighters are firefighters, and we experience, just good people and hanging out with. They're always the same. It doesn't matter where you go, and that's the cool thing about it as well.
The fun part about it was, we do a lot of the apparatus innovations, and we talk trucks
Yep.
on our page a lot. And so you and I, last year, we met up at FDIC last year in August. We walked the floor. There were 6 tillers here, I think, 6
a lot,
PDAs at the
lot,
time.
absolutely.
Can I say tiller? Is that an insult? Like, am I
I-
insulting you? Is it just a TDA?
I want to say you are, but no,
I
you're
am.
not.
Okay.
No.
All right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I will say this, right? So we walked the floor, we shot some innovations last year, and then here we are again today. We did some projects together yesterday.
Sure.
I will say this, it is a unique discipline that has become very popular in the American Fire Service. There's a resurgence of
Absolutely.
the TDAs. And so with that comes the ability or the abilities that you need to have to be able to build one correctly for your needs.
Yep.
I never realized how much goes into a TDA.
Yeah, it is. It's a large apparatus, very unique, and because of that, it has. I always think of it in 3 areas: the tractor, the trailer, and then the tiller cab. And because of that, you got to think of all those, and they all combine, and they have very unique specifics that they do. And so, communicating that to people is important, and both inside and outside. And that's the fun thing. And when people get a chance to, first of all, when someone's going to do it, I always tell them, like, you're about to go on a journey, and it is a fun journey. And I got to be part of that. And that's where we got to educate and talk about it. I mean, I know you've done some tillering in your day, and that's fun. And then there's the training part. And that's where you really get to see the magic come together, and they get to see what we're going to do with them and how this rig's going to perform.
Awesome.
Yeah.
What's we got to meet the past or ex-chief of Canyon Lake, Darren Brinkater.
Yep.
And they really took the tiller to the next level, the Tractor Drawn Aerial.
Yep.
Put a pump on it, rescue equipment. It's really fitting the role of a rescue company. How is that coming into the American Fire Service, and what's your thoughts?
Well, first of all, you're seeing people that are buying tillers that never would buy a tiller, right?
Yep.
And let me do a Jeremy thing here. Hey, how's it going, guys? Okay.
It's good.
And
It's good.
You like that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And and you're seeing smaller departments that would not normally do it. Yeah, guys, thanks for coming by. And
Have a coin.
so, sorry, we were playing over here. So anyways, these departments they're taking a smaller department and they're taking multiple disciplines, and because the apparatus is so large, they're realizing, hey, we can combine it into one apparatus.
Yeah.
Where you normally might have a rescue box trucks in a station, and the truck goes out, they get a rescue response, they got to come back at that box truck. You can combine that all in one in a smaller department doing that, and that's where you see the benefit of it, where smaller departments are seeing things that they would not normally do, because traditionally this is always thought of as the big city.
Yeah.
It's not.
Yeah.
It's got so many different facets to it. And people don't realize, like, deploying off of this apparatus is a blast, and it really has capabilities that you don't realize. I used to have my tillerman. He always joked, and he'd come around the corner, come to the station. He would look in the apparatus bay, and if there was a reserve straight frame, his day was shot. He wanted to throw rocks at it. It's like he didn't want to get in
Put
that
it
tiller.
out of service. Yeah, right.
Or that straight frame. He wanted to be in his tiller. So
Yeah.
it's a fun rig to get on.
I've never seen an apparatus that's easier to get ground ladders off rapidly than a tiller. I mean, when I learned ladder culture when I started going down to Hyattsville and volunteering in PG County.
Yeah.
And it was like, it's just one of those things when people say, like, hey, why do you like this so much? Like, because when somebody's hanging out the window, I can get almost omnidirectional, a 24 or 28 off the truck and up to them
Fast.
within seconds.
Yes. And if you look at, we just did training for Virginia, or Richmond, Virginia. 370 feet of ground ladders on that truck.
Wow.
And I mean, they've got that thing is loaded with it. And so I think of tillers as being very modular, depending on what you need. You might need a pump, or you want a true truck, no water. And they went with ground ladders, and that's just phenomenal when they can, like you said, now they have access quick on both sides to be able to get to where they need to go. And that becomes really, when you talk about being deployable and really having impact on the fire ground, you're bringing this huge toolbox that can be used quick and easy.
And I think the other thing that I loved about it was its ability to narrow you down into truck culture. I remember specifically riding on truck one and coming off, and if I was hook and can, where those tools were positioned on that truck and being so orientated to that position, or if I was bar and the same thing. And I think that's one thing that people overlook when they're thinking of this, because if you don't know, you don't know, right? So,
yeah, it's when you think about the outside of that rig, there's a lot of space because it's so large that you can put outside tools on. Now, some departments say, hey, we're not putting outside tools, but I'm like, I want to get off, get my irons, get my can, and you can put it in places where you're not opening up a compartment. You're literally just grabbing and going, because there's literally these awesome spots that are kind of hidden away that you don't realize that the tools go, and then you can get to your tools quick.
Well, that's the whole point of what you do, right? If you don't know, you don't know, right? So we need to educate, right?
Yep.
Everything in the American Fire Service is all about education. A better educated firefighter is a better firefighter.
Yeah,
Hands down.
absolutely.
So when it comes to tractor drawn aerial, check you guys out. Steve Crothers, thank you, brother. Where can people find you? What do you guys have going on? What's next?
Yeah, we are on tractordrawnaerial.com, the website, obviously on the Gram and the Facebook. We'll be out in Iowa doing training in 2 weeks, and then we just kind of move on as departments need us. You contact us, we'll talk shop, we love it.
But it's everything from concept design, build, delivery, training.
Yeah, I mean, I built the website for two reasons. One, I just want to celebrate the iconicness of this apparatus. It's the ball or Cinderella at the ball, for sure. The second part is I want to share with people, like, hey, if you're going to purchase this rig, my website has content. It's free for everybody to look at. Get yourself started and understand how to use this rig and why would you use the rig. And that's what's kind of the idea behind it. Yeah, so reach us out there. More than happy to talk to people.
I appreciate you sitting down with us. I've had a lot of fun with you over the last few days. I do like Josh and Aaron better.
I see
but
that,
I will
guys.
say that you got a hell of a team, and it's an absolute honor to spend some time with you.
All right, cool.
Thanks, Steve. I appreciate it. Andy, we're bringing you up. You've been very patient, man. Come on up. Aaron and Bart, we're getting to you guys, I promise.
Thank you, friend.
How are you, Andy?
Good to see you.
The Water Thieves.
Yes, sir.
What is the Water Thieves?
well, first off, say his last name.
Well, I can't. That's why I didn't do it.
That's common spelling, man.
Yeah.
Well, let me look at it.
Can't figure that out.
Soccodato?
Oh, you close.
Soccodato.
Soccodato.
Soccodato. All right.
Not bad though, man.
Not bad.
How about what is water thieves? Let's go there. Talk to me.
So we are a training-based business that is designed to teach folks how to get creative with getting water, moving large volumes of water, and we're just really trying to make water supply sexy again, right? Because it's not. Most people aren't intrigued about water supply.
I don't agree with you. I think what you guys do is you provide the tools for the firefighter to become that clutch position, because your class is about moving big water, and we can talk about a water system, but I've watched you teach and I've watched your passion, and what you're doing is you're enabling a chauffeur, engineer, apparatus operator, whatever the terminology is, to have the tools in their toolbox to be that pinch hitter, and to really come through with that driving home run that we need in the fire service. And that is what, I mean, having had two guys go through your class at the Revolution, like, that is what they took home. It was this ability to be that clutch person to provide water when you need water.
Well, I'm happy to hear that. That means we're doing the right thing. But you know, like I was telling Jeremy earlier, everybody kind of is about water supply until you're doing crazy stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
Once you start doing big stuff and start moving a lot of water and seeing all the concepts come together, it kind of jives and people get excited about it when you're actually doing it. And here's what I like to tell people: a lot of people will take our classes and say some of the feedback is, "Wow, we'll never do that. We'll never have to do that." And you might be right. Yeah, I might lose a bet, but moving big water and doing some of these large scenarios is the only way that you're going to get competent and confident with moving water. And what I like to tell people is that it naturally is going to build in natural scenarios that you have to troubleshoot, right?
For sure. Well,
moving a lot of water naturally is going to create a scenario where, holy crow, right? We got to figure out how to fix this problem. We got air into the pump or whatever it was, and they have to troubleshoot it.
a lot of the conversation, too, though, always goes to urban engine companies, right? So we got a hydrant every 100 feet. We got a hydrant every block. And when that happens, it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
We don't have to get overly creative, right?
Yeah.
We got to cover the bases, make sure we got water, we feed the lines, we're good to go. Where I think the conversation needs to really start talking about, and what you guys do is bring to the table suburban and rural tactics. 95% of the American Fire Service is not in an urban setting.
Well,
So we got to move water, and we got to move a lot of water, because typically we got larger frame construction, big square footage, large setbacks, no hydrants.
Exactly.
Put the fire out.
Exactly, right? And you know, you bring up a great point, because a lot of times we talk about hydrants make it easy. Anybody can hook to a hydrant, and eventually the department that I used to work for, right? We had 4 engines going on a box, right? If the second engine didn't do it, the third would, and the third didn't, the fourth did, right? And eventually somebody figured it out. But it's those rural water supply operations, those drafting operations that really, you know, that takes some experience and understanding and knowledge. And
I even think to watching you teach the turbo draft.
yeah,
The device of the American Fire Service that we don't know how to use, and you hit the nail on it. It's one of the most viewed videos on a TikTok feed that we have, where people were like, "Hey, can you show us the second part of this?" Because like that's and like, but really, I mean, like, and you said it right in the video. This is not the optimal water source. This is not your go-to, but everything else has not worked out, and now this is your best option. And it's one of the things when we started this partnership to work here with Mercedes today. I remember the MegaFlow being on the end of that, and I was like, man, I screwed this up so many times, and I wish I had this class.
well, I mean, it's funny you bring that up, right? A lot of people knock that device, and you know, it has its place. It's not the go-to every time, but when you need it, when you have a challenging water source that is away from the rig, there are a lot of creative ways that you can use that device to get water that you probably would have driven past.
And one of the things that came out of the conversation that you and I had previously on the gospel was that apparatus design, right? Like, there's not a whole lot of different things we can do on the engines.
Yeah.
We can put compartments here, speed lays here, the back step, we can lower the hose bed, but engine size. Touch on that real quick, because that was something that I never thought of and I asked you about after seeing this?
So one of the biggest things that we ran into in Charlottesville when we were building a couple engines, I made the pitch for a bigger motor, a 600 horsepower motor. And everybody's like, well, you just want to be able to drive fast. And I said, that's not what it's about, right? Because the rig's governed either way.
Yeah.
And I said, the reason I want that bigger motor is because that truck isn't going to have to work as hard moving larger volumes of water. I can exceed a pump's rated capacity if I have enough horsepower. We just talked about it in my class earlier. There's 3 variables that affect your pump's ability to move water. The size of the impeller, the number of discharges, and the horsepower of the motor. And a lot of times people forget about that horsepower because they're like, oh, well, the manufacturer will sell me a 450 horsepower motor and that'll be fine for 90% of the time. But when I need to move a lot of water or need to do something outside the box or I'm trying to make it a little bit better, right? A bigger motor is going to make it a whole lot better for you.
And it's amazing because I remember after having the conversation with you, finding a department locally to add a source pumper for the 450 motor. They bought it for source, but they put the smallest motor in it.
Because it's usually a monetary thing, right? I can't give you exact numbers, but we're in the thousands of dollars, a couple tens of $1,000s difference price range, and I get it, man.
Awesome, brother. Thank you. I don't mean to cut it short.
No, I know. I can talk about water all the time.
I'm looking around. I'm seeing faces, guys wave.
No worries.
I want to get them all in.
I'm not saying you have to go, but you can't stay here.
Water Thieves, where can people find you? What's next for you? Talk to me.
Waterthieves.com. You can go on our website. You can look us up on Facebook at the Water Thieves and Instagram.
Awesome.
We will be in Central Illinois teaching at a conference there in a couple weeks, moving some big water in a rural setting. So
I love it.
Awesome.
Andy, thanks for sitting
Thank
down
you,
with us,
Jeremy.
pal.
Appreciate it.
Aaron, you guys are up. Let's
Rob,
roll.
thank you.
You guys have been waiting
Appreciate
patiently.
it.
I apologize. How are you? Good. Come sit.
Bart, you're fired.
Thank you. No, you brought me here just for that?
Again?
Yeah. Just make sure you're inside that green tape. Yeah, it's going to be a little tight. Gonna be a little tight. So listen, thanks for sitting down with us.
Awesome.
Aaron, you and I have been spending a lot of time together lately.
We have. It's been good.
On-Scene Training Associates.
Yeah.
You guys have been doing this a long time. I would say you're probably one of the OG groups that have been here, no?
I would say we've, the business has been going almost 20 years.
Yeah.
I've been coming to FDIC since 1996.
Yeah.
So I guess that makes me old.
I don't say no. OG is original gangster. You guys laying the foundation, though. You guys have put together a crack team, man. Like we've done many conferences together now through different places and some of your own training and so on. But I've been able to see firsthand what you guys have been able to bring to the table, and you guys bring together a band of characters, right? A cast of characters.
We do.
That are very well disciplined in what they do, and they put on a good class.
They do a great job, man, and we're just so blessed to be able to have all these guys from all over the country traveling. We've traveled worldwide at this point, and more scheduled. And like I said, we're just fortunate. And FDIC, since we're here, that's where I met Bart. Right?
Yeah.
That's where we became friends. Bart, one of the founding fools.
Yeah, I wanted to hop over that.
We're just blessed to have all this together and have all these capabilities to go where we go and deliver the level of training that I think that is expected and should be delivered by everybody.
I agree with you. There should be a level, and it should not be a minimum standard. It should be a middle of the road standard to a maximum standard and beyond, because nothing on the lower or the bottom shelf doesn't work for us.
No, listen, anybody thinks that minimum standards work or anything else works is wrong, because you've never reached where you need to get.
That's right.
We can always be better.
Yeah.
So.
Bart, talk to me about FDIC. I mean, you've been coming a couple of years too now, no?
Yeah, I was on the committee that actually moved FDIC here from Cincinnati.
There it is. Yeah, right.
Yeah,
That's exactly.
That's
you know what?
1995. So
I'll be honest with you, I didn't know it was elsewhere.
Yeah.
So it was in Cincinnati?
It was in Cincinnati before that, and
Memphis, right?
Memphis.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
So right after he got done in Memphis, he went to Cincinnati, outgrew Cincinnati, and they said, hey, you need to go to Indianapolis for a meeting. And we showed up, and IFD treated us like kings.
Yeah.
And, took us all around the city. And I was talking to somebody that in the Dome, we used to do a instructor development clinic. And in 1 year, we did a mock plane crash. We had a whole fuselage from the airport.
Yeah.
We had luggage everywhere and instructors talking, and it was really cool. And Indianapolis has been almost a second home since we moved it here.
Yeah, and Aaron alluded to it too. You guys met here?
Yes.
And then through that comes brotherhood, friendship, and everything else in between, and you guys come together to put together On Scene.
Yeah, we've been blessed, man. With On Scene, it's firefighters from all over the country that we've, people ask, well, how do you pick instructors? And you get everybody that says, hey, I want to come teach for you. Or I'm sure all the other instructor groups have that same thing. Hey, they see you put on a good program and then they want to come work with you. And I have no answer as to how and why we put it together. It's just a feeling of this person's going to work really well with us. They mold into what we do. They have the same philosophies, and they bring a different aspect to the game.
Yeah.
And that's what I've always looked for with On Scene.
But I think there's more to that, Aaron, because I think that, like, I look at your instructors and there's a common denominator here, and they're all somehow involved with the Fools organization.
Yeah, it wasn't planned that way, but you know what? The salt of the earth, the best guys in the world, some of my best friends ever, it's because of the Fools that I met them all. So I think the Fools bring together. We all have that same philosophy, that mentality. It's all about the student, it's all about the fire service, it's all about firefighters. And if it's about us and it's ego fed, then it's no good. And that's a lot.
You were one of the founding members, right?
Yes.
I mean, talk on that conversation, because I know how this started.
It was over a beer, I can guarantee you.
It was.
Yeah, I can guarantee you that.
Yes.
Absolutely.
The 5 founders, we all lived in the same area in Central Florida, and we all hung around, and one of the guys had a tiki bar in the backyard. So we decided, we all showed up with leather helmets one day, and as the day progressed, somebody goes, yeah, we're a bunch of fools. And then on a bar napkin, we wrote down fools, and then we came up with the whole acronym. And all along, the whole driving force has been brotherhood and training. And to make it realistic training and the pride, honor, and tradition of the fire service. And back then, as we were starting, we all kind of needed that little group to get things together and keep up the traditions that we have, because today a lot of the younger guys don't understand that. You know, it's just a job, or they just show up at the firehouse or whatever. But we're, I think, over 7,000 members across the world now.
That's awesome. I'm a card-carrying member.
Yeah.
What's the proudest moment for you, knowing that it was on a bar napkin, right? You wrote this thing down. But like for you now, looking back,
it's just amazing to see. Everywhere we travel as a training company or something, we run into members of the Fools. And so, just seeing that, how it is across the country. And, I see Fool shirts everywhere we go. And, hey, brother, how you doing? And we all have that common bond. And we never expected, by sitting at the Tiki Bar, having 7,000 members across the world. And at one time we had about 8,500, and, kind of goes up and down. And COVID hurt a lot of the chapters, but they're in the rebuilding stages.
But I look at it this way in twofold too, right? That conversation you had in the Tiki Bar and writing that down on the napkin, that was happening everywhere.
Yes.
You guys just formalized it and said, let's do something about this, right? Because guys are thirsty for that.
Yes.
People are looking for it. If they don't have it in their area, start one. Reach out.
Yes.
Find out how to start a Fools chapter. Get involved with your Fools chapter. The other point I wanted to make too, though, is we got to make sure that the next generation, the younger guys, understand the mission of the Fools and how to get involved as well, because they need to get involved.
Right.
They need to fuel this and keep it going.
Yep. So if they go to foolsinternational.com, and we're on all the social media pages and everything, and there's contact information out there, just reach out to us. And any of the founders, we're always open. And I get phone calls all the time. Hey, I saw you at this conference or whatever. What do I need to do to start? And we have the website has kind of directions. It's interesting. Our president lives in Fairbanks, Alaska. So and we've had a convention there, and we try to have an annual convention. We've had to cancel it twice because of COVID, but this year it's going to be in Milwaukee in September.
Cool.
So
great.
It's really, really amazing how it's blossomed out, and there are people that really do care about the fire service.
Hell yeah, man. I agree with you. We try to find them every single day and share that message.
Yes.
Aaron, what's next for On Scene? What do you guys have going on?
On Scene, we've got a pretty tight schedule for the next few months. Everything's really, really flowing. We've got classes all over the country. We were in meetings today with some classes that we're going to be doing overseas, going back to the islands, the way it looks. And then we're looking at another big open enrollment program come probably October, November.
Awesome.
So the announcement will come out with that within the next week or two.
Good. Well, I wish you guys nothing but success with everything that you guys are involved with. I consider you both friends.
Absolutely.
And I look forward to doing more projects together with you guys. Thank you for patiently waiting. I know you came over, but it means the world that you guys are willing to sit down and talk with us for a few minutes.
Love it. Thanks for the opportunity.
Safe travels. Get home safe.
Yeah,
Bart,
man.
nice seeing you. I see Aaron all the time now. So. Good
Bart,
seeing
thank
you guys. Thanks for
Good
hopping
seeing
in.
you, Rob.
Eric, you jumping up here or what? Let's go.
There you go.
Yeah, let's do it. Pour one. Let's go.
Oh, now you're talking, man.
Boom. This has been hopefully the management here at Mercedes Textiles is all right with this. We're gonna have to roll with it. But listen, I want to hop in real quick.
Not looking.
Hi, Sam. You have become a dear friend, man. I value our time together. I value our conversations, and I think why is because I'm really impressed with you and your crew.
Oh, well, thank you, brother.
So let's talk about Fast Rescue Solutions, because I always screw that up. So let's talk about that real quick. Cheers, brother. Thank you for bringing that
Cheers.
over.
Thank you.
Well, I was worried about your voice.
That's delicious.
Oh, it is.
Looking out for me?
I was looking out for your voice.
Thanks,
I
pal.
heard you.
I
I thought I'd
appreciate
bring
it.
you something over to soothe the voice a little bit.
I love it.
Thank you. My voice is not in jeopardy, but damn.
So what are we doing? Talk to me about Fast.
So, we're just moving ahead. We're changing our training brand a little bit. We've got a really great program for firefighter rescue. We're integrating a lot more than just the board into it because, the board comes in late. You need to have other things. So we're coming up with a bunch of new techniques with just hands-on stuff, using a little bit, using a piece of webbing, using a multi-loop strap from Tim Anderson. Really trying to put out a whole system, be a rescue company,
Right.
not just a rescue product.
Yeah.
It's been great. I was with Bobby Eckert. I've been able to get into a lot more training conferences doing that because I'm not teaching the product now. I'm teaching a system.
And that's what I was going to say too, right? It's exciting to see you working with these different companies. I know you've done a lot with Bobby. You did a couple conferences now. I see we were just down at the Joey D in Texas.
Yep.
It's fun to watch you and your crew work because ultimately what you guys are doing is you're looking out for us.
Absolutely.
Like you guys, your mission is all about firefighter safety, survival,
Yep.
right? And then obviously the people we serve as well. Your products work on that specifically.
Yeah, I mean, we started out as firefighter safety, survival, rescue, but all the stuff that we do applies right to the civilians. We're there for them, that's our job, but if we're not there for us, right up front, then who's going to go and be there for the civilians? So we have to take care of our own, and we have to do it all the time. We have to do it, physically, mentally, emotionally, and we got to do it when we're out there on the job.
What fuels you? Let me preface that. You don't stop.
No.
You don't stop.
I don't stop.
What fuels you? What's pushing you?
I love the fire service. I love the people I work with. I mean, I originally made this just because I wanted it for my crew. And then when I saw the fast board, I was like, man, I need to get this out to as many people as possible. It's because, of the people that I get to be around. I mean, I've been in all over the world. Firefighters are just good people everywhere I've ever gone. I never rolled in, that's not true. I've almost never gone to anywhere where.
Right.
But overall, I mean, firefighters are just good people. They just want to do a good job. They're committed. They want to see you do good. They want to see you do good. If you're on their crew, they want to see the department do good. They want to do good things. I mean, it's just a wonderful environment to work in all the time.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
The product speaks for itself, but it does require hands-on. You got to get that class. You got to bring it in-house. The fast board is a game changer. Five or die.
Five or die.
We got to package our own and get them out. Chris Simpson walking in too. Chris is instrumental in the company.
Chris,
He's done a lot for you.
He's done a huge amount. He's been
You're
Chris,
better.
sit.
Get in here.
well,
Just get inside the green tape.
Yep, I do.
So he did this on purpose. He just strolled
Yeah, he
in.
just
so
strolled in,
right. Right, just casually walks in, right? But Chris, we were just talking. It was cool because
going
Eric.
on here?
I just pushed Eric in regards to what fuels him because he works so hard. I mean, the guy doesn't stop, right? What are your observations? What do you think about the Fast Rescue Solutions, the Fast Board, what you guys do, what you bring to the table?
I think essentially we started out as a product company and then changed our branding to be really a cultural changing company, right? Working with you guys, talking to different firemen, talking to like-minded individuals, We're here for firefighters. We're here for civilians. It allows us to essentially push a culture out and do things and just change the game, right? So how we conventionally did things to how we are now. Ultimately, what fuels me individually is going out, talking to firefighters like firefighters, and finding that relationship and building that relationship.
That's huge. One thing you guys do very well, because you are firefighters. You're not a salesperson who's like, hey, buy my product. It's strictly.
Yep. I don't allow salesmen.
Yeah.
And first time I talk to anybody who wants to come into the company and be a rep or be an instructor, like, we never sell. All we do is show value. If what we're showing that we believe is valuable is not valuable to them, then don't buy our product. Absolutely, 100% don't do it. Why would I want you to buy anything that's not valuable to you?
100%. You and I believe in the same value proposition. We've talked about it.
Yep.
I mean, you and I are kind of cut from the same cloth in some regards, and how we do and how we operate. I will say this, though, too. In the culture of firefighter safety and survival, sometimes we're overthinking it. Guys are getting cute. Guys are getting pretty. We're coming up with some pretty extravagant ways of, saying we can remove our own. And so on. But you guys are down and dirty, man. You guys are basic, you're simple, and I don't mean that, I mean that in the best way possible, right?
Absolutely.
Because it's all about technique.
Yes.
And knowledge and understanding.
So when a firefighter goes down, it's going to be at the worst possible moment. You're already going to be smoked, you're going to be tired, you're going to be walking out, and then you got to turn around and go right back in. So it's all about efficiency. It's, we can't build these great rope rescue systems because rope rescue doesn't have any place in emergency extrication. We have to go fast. We have to go fast. That's what it is. We have to. There can be no wasted motion, for saving that down firefighter.
Right. Awesome.
You got that 5 minutes. After that 5 minutes, the survivability rate really starts to drop very, very quickly. We have to get them out of that environment. We have to get them. That firefighter CPR started. We have to get them derobed, get them to medical where they can start working them right away. And we have to get it done in that 5 minute window or around there.
I love it. I feel the passion. We did some projects. I mean, we literally connected probably 3 years ago, I think, when we first crossed paths. We were still very new at this, and you trusted us with talking about the product and so on. And I like to think that this is a long relationship to go. We got a long way to go.
Absolutely.
But it's fun to watch you guys grow. Going to conferences, the abilities that Rob and I have in the team now for National Fire Radio to travel to these different conferences, help put the conferences on, bring attention to them. It's fun. It's fun to see you guys there because it's like you guys are expanding and growing too. Yeah. And I love that. Within what we do, it's fun to watch the different guys come up together.
Yeah.
So I wish you guys nothing but the best. Eric, thank you.
Thank you.
Chris, thank you. Where can people find you? How do they reach out if they're interested in the Fast Board or any of your classes, programs, conferences? What do you got?
Go right to our website, www.fastrescuesolutions.com. That can get you to anything that you need to get in contact with us, emails, phone numbers. It shows all our classes. It shows all our videos. We put it all out there. It's all open source. Get in touch with us. We'll be happy to come out and do a demo. If you got a conference coming up, you want to see what we're doing, you want to see the lesson plan, reach out to us. We'll be there.
I love it.
Yep.
Thank you, brother, for sitting down with us. I appreciate it. Chris, thank you, man. Good time and strolling in. That was smooth.
Yeah.
I want to grab Tim Anderson from Anderson Rescue Solutions. Thank you, brother, for the cocktail, by the way. I appreciate it. Tim, come on, have a seat, man.
Get in here. Come on.
Sam, you gonna sit down next with me? Yeah. Good.
So I didn't bring bourbon. I'm sorry.
That's what you brought.
It's a tough act to follow here.
No, you brought your witty personality. Yes. Are you reading Shakespeare today or no?
What
not
pros do you
today.
have for us? Oh, damn it.
We did. Where was that?
That was
at the Eckert event.
The Eckert thing in Glenside, Pennsylvania.
Oh, that's right.
I had Aristotle. I was reading Aristotle's a big fan of VES.
I'm not even classy enough to even know who you were reading. So.
Well, maybe we'll get some Play-Doh involved next time. So.
Like Play-Doh? You could eat that.
That's true.
I'm the fat kid in the kindergarten room. Like I was a kid eating Play-Doh.
This is what I deal with.
It's delicious. It's a tough life you live.
That was me. I swear.
Wow.
Tim, what do we do? Anderson Rescue Solutions, man. What?
Yeah, it's a big year. It's a big year. So, yeah. If nobody heard, I hung it up in Philly and had to make some hard decisions. ARS grew a lot faster than I thought it was going to be, and couldn't do 2 full-time jobs anymore. So I had to make some choices. So cut the cord, moved to North Carolina, get closer to family, and here we are. So trying to build it up.
Passion and rescue, right? You were a rescue firefighter, right?
Squad company, but
squad
yeah, let's
company.
make that
Sorry.
very clear.
Well, hold
Squad
on,
72.
Yeah. You know what? From where you come from makes that big distinction. There's a distinction.
Sure.
Across the country, man.
Yeah.
Squad rescue. It's
Yeah,
a
rescue
lot of times
fireman.
interchangeable. So I apologize.
Absolutely.
for
Special
that.
operations fireman and
Yeah, I hope you don't get any
How
hate
dare
mail
you.
Yeah, I know. I
No,
hope he
no,
doesn't
no,
get any
no.
hate mail from his friends, right?
No.
But at the end of the day, like you were a tech guy. You're a tech guy.
Correct.
And so you developed Anderson Rescue Squad. Like you developed products that simplifies. From what I've seen, I'm not a tech guy.
No,
I've seen the product.
You can get together with your rope nerd friends on the weekends and do stuff, but simplicity has got to be the foundation of everything, I think, both in tech rescue and especially rapid intervention, which is kind of what got me started here was firefighter rescue and needing simpler tools to accomplish the mission. And so our whole sort of mission statement is reality. It's got to work in reality. It doesn't need to work on the apparatus floor on drill night. It's got to work when I can't see, can't feel, my pulse is 200. That's our baseline. That's where we start. So if it works there, then cool, let's talk. If it doesn't, throw it in the garbage.
That's a good mantra, man.
That's kind of my goal set. So
that's reality.
It's reality, and it's going to be stress, or it's got to make things simpler and more efficient for me. So.
Yeah. So your rescue strap is innovative, and I think is a game changer. Talk about your rescue strap.
So the multi-loop rescue strap was, again, a lot of guys carry webbing, but webbing doesn't work in the criteria I just gave you. When you, especially with gloves on, it's super hard. It's just flat. It doesn't have any. There's no tactile reference points on it to throw out some big words there, but the rescue.
I'm hanging on.
Yeah,
I'm hanging on.
You got it. So the rescue strap is designed to work when I can't feel well. So I've got things to make it easier to work with firefighting gloves. When I can't see, so again, and then it's simple. That's the whole key. Is simple. Is girth hitch, chuck them out the window.
Awesome.
So,
and then some other things, rope bags, right? You have a buddy of mine's in a rescue company, and they were looking at your roof bag, right? Your life safety.
Yes,
Talk
sir.
about that setup.
Yeah, so I have a kit for emergency rooftop operations. The FDNY is made famous going over the edge and making grabs at windows. So we made a rope bag. Our Fireground Special Operations rope bag is designed specifically for that evolution or for wide area search and rescue firemen through the floor, stuff like that. But we have a kit that's super easy. With 3 guys, you can make the rescue in 2 minutes from arriving on the roof. Get the guys off, sometimes faster depending on what you're doing. But it's quick, it's simple, easy to deploy, and it's rocking and rolling.
We were talking about it before. I was over at your booth before. We were talking about it, and you said, I congratulated you on going full time with it. That had to be a hell of a decision to make. You had your dream job. You said it. Yeah. I had my dream job. I was a firefighter. I was a fireman. I had my dream job. But your entrepreneurial spirit and your hustle, right? Talk to me.
So, yeah, it's funny. Everyone's like, "Oh, you got to chase your dreams." My dream was to be a special operations fireman in a big city, and I got there, and it was every bit as great as I thought it could be.
Right.
Worked with outstanding dudes. Humbled to go to some very difficult, challenging fires over my career, and I will miss that dearly.
I'm sure.
But the chance now is hopefully to give back, because I've been blessed, and let's try to get some gear out there that makes an impact. So that's our goal.
What was the pivotal moment for you when you realized that you, I don't want to say you had to act, but like you were like, hey, we're missing this. Like you talk about the 200 heartbeats a minute and like operating in that environment where you can't see. Like, what was the moment that started this?
So
spark
I'll point to 2. The first was when I went. Philadelphia does a great special operations training program for the guys who are kind of candidating for those positions, and their firefighter rescue week was insane, and they made it very obvious what you couldn't do in a high stress environment, and you're still in training, so you you're going to go home and get a beer afterwards. So you couple that with I might not go home, and you know that okay, crap, this just isn't going to work. We got to have something simple. And then that was proven to me. I found myself working in an actual Mayday that ended up in a line of duty death and part of that removal process. And at one point I keep a carabiner on the front of my turnout coat that I can take off to do whatever with. I was too exhausted to do it. I was literally looking right here at a carabiner clipped to my coat, and I couldn't do it because I was so exhausted. I was like, well, all right. This proves everything I thought. It's got to be simple because I'm stressed out of my mind right now.
Yeah.
And so that's where we kind of have to look at how we're doing things and how we're training and what can we actually do and what do we kind of shooting the moon for. Like,
Well, I thank you for taking a situation like that, an experience like that, and making it into something that we're going to learn from. And the end result is you've produced a wonderful product, several of them, to make the fire service better and help us out.
I mean, that's the goal now, is to try to get some stuff out there that works. So.
I love how humble you are. You're ridiculous. Listen, at the end of the day, we've become friends. We've, just like Eric, who we talked to before, and you guys are friends, obviously. And, part of that is we're all coming up through this together. You're navigating the ways of how to advertise and educate. Education is king.
Indeed.
Right? You're not selling products. You're educating and providing tools that work, especially with your mantra of what you offer.
Well, and that's what we want to do. The best thing, and that's what the best part about FDIC, especially coming through the years, starting way off in the back corner of the stadium, working our way a little closer to the mainstream here, but having guys come by like, yo, I've got your stuff, and it really helped me in this. I mean, that's why we're doing this.
That's it.
That's what gets me out of bed in the morning, and when I'm staring at the ceiling at night, wondering how I'm going to feed my family and missing Squad 72, that's what keeps me coming the next day.
Yeah.
So.
Well, listen, I wish you nothing but success, man.
Thank
Tim,
you.
congratulations on the commitment to you,
Thank
to
you,
Anderson.
sir.
And
Thank you very much.
Listen, I think what you're doing is you're really putting out a great product, and people need to be aware of that. Where can they find you? What do you have going on?
AndersonRescue.com, that's our website. Instagram, Anderson Rescue Solutions, Facebook, all the good stuff.
Awesome.
We'll go from there. And Raleigh, North Carolina, come knocking.
Yeah, right?
So,
Change your zip code as well. So.
Exactly.
Tim, thank you very much, pal.
Thanks for having me on.
Enjoy the show.
Appreciate it.
All right, we're getting close to wrapping now, but I want to bring in this guy over here. He's got a bigger mouth than me, so let's get him in real quick. Sam from HiViz, FireTech brand of lights. Get in here.
Hey.
You and I
what's up,
know
fellas?
each other a little bit now.
We have. Good to see you.
That was the show. We're rapping with you, and we're gonna wrap in like 5. So
yeah, sweet. No worries. I am spent for the day anyway.
I am,
tell you
I'm
what.
wiped out. How
I
was
can
the
hear
show?
it. No, man, it's been great. Like, it's surprising how the energy is so much. Like, it's up, it's happening. People are stoked. Yeah, I feel really good about it. I'm glad we're here. How about you guys?
It's been great. It's been
awesome.
absolutely great.
Yeah.
We are absolutely blessed with the guests that we've had and been able to have in here.
Yeah.
4.5 years of navigating National Fire Radio has given us the ability to meet and talk with some of the biggest and best in the industry.
That's
I
cool.
mean that in a way of these are people that have shaped and innovated our industry.
Yeah.
That's freaking cool.
That's super cool.
To rub elbows with guys that I read their articles 20 years ago and now to
That's
consider
pretty
them
cool.
friends
Yeah.
and so on. Not those guys, but other people.
Hey, what's up,
They're
fellas?
fanboying right now.
Yeah,
What do you want? Do you want a koozie? Is that what you want?
That's it. Yeah.
Get out of here. Anyway, it's been a great show.
That's excellent, man. I was telling some guys earlier, we were in this fire truck manufacturers group, and we were talking about sharing video content and like buyer's guides, and the industry's changed so much to leveraging things like you guys do with video media and with all of your social media content and with the things like Mercedes Hose is doing here. It's so unique because it's different than just reading a boring old magazine. It's like, this is stuff that people can grab, they can use, they're gonna engage with, and it's a new medium, it's the same message, and it's so exciting to be kind of a part of that scene here at the event.
And they can show their chief. I think I like what I think about what that whole video media does is we can say like, hey, this is what we're talking about. We're not just like, let me show you.
Yeah, exactly.
Here's this crazy guy who bought an ambulance and he drove it through the woods at a high speed.
Nah, I mean, we've been known to do some crazy things.
And the lights are still working.
That's it.
I love it. I mean, and here's the thing too, innovation, we talk about innovation a lot on our page and what we do, but at the end of the day, Lydia and the team from Mercedes Textiles, they put a lot of trust in having National Fire Radio sit on their stage for the last 2 days and interview some of the biggest and best names in the industry, people that have, like I said, innovative and pushed us forward.
Yeah.
And for me, that means the world. You know, and so for Lydia and the team that trust us to do that, it means the world. And we're going to be wrapping up very shortly here. But it's been a hell of a show.
Yeah, that's
It really
awesome.
has. And it's been a great experience. And our friendship is blooming. We've got a great team.
Well, thank you.
And,
You guys as well.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. But
really quickly, can you talk about how many times Sebastian set off the smoke alarm last night?
Oh my God! So Sebastian was teaching us how to cook.
Okay.
Teaching is a big word, but he was cooking in the apartment we had. We set the smoke alarm off. I'm not kidding you, probably 1,000 times. It would go off. Eventually, we just stopped waving the napkins and just sat there and listened to it. It was the music of my people. It was great.
Well,
thank you,
Sam. Thank you, brother.
Yeah, man.
I hope the rest of the show is good for you.
Absolutely.
It's always fun
Catch
sitting
you
down
later,
with your
man.
higher energy.
Cheers. Absolutely. We'll see you guys later. Thanks for having me on. Cheers.
How are you, sir? You got a training second for me? You want to hop? We're live. I mean, I could give you a little makeup, a little powder. You need anything or what?
See you guys.
Thank you. How are you, brother? You got a second? You want to sit down?
Yeah,
We're live.
sure.
Come on.
No, come on in, Ron.
All right. Ray, you want to hop in or you done? You already sat here. You're going to say yes? You want to sit in? Come on.
Come on in, Ray.
Absolutely.
Come on, Ray. We can talk about us.
You didn't have to dress up for us, for God's sakes. I didn't know. I'll stand back here.
All right.
Sit.
These are the most comfortable chairs in the world.
So listen, this is one of those treats, man. You guys, I will tell you, I read your articles. You guys have shaped and innovated the American Fire Service. What you've done with either its training seconds or your articles, right? And Ray, same with you. Sitting down with you yesterday was an absolute treat for me.
Great.
Talk about FDIC this year. I mean, there was a nice buzz here. Nice crowd. There is. Vendors filled out. The hot training I heard was very good. Yep. How was your lecture?
Oh, it was good. They liked it. At least they told me they liked it.
You didn't get a bad
when
review.
I thanked them, it was 8:30 in the morning, so.
8:30, you had to get up early. That means you behaved last night, which is good.
Yep.
Absolutely. Ron, talk to me. You and I have never chatted before. I mean, we're friends.
chatted a little bit,
Yeah, but we never had a chance to really sit down. I've never had a chance to pick your brain and so on.
Yeah.
Tell me what your thoughts are. I talked to Ray about this yesterday, when Ray sat down with us, and I talked about being in those inner circles of people that have been able to leave an impact on the American Fire Service. For me, I'm just a humbled kid that read magazines and has a big mouth, and I decided to put it on camera, right?
Yeah.
For you actually have some smarts and some brains, and you have things to share. You travel the country, you go to different conferences, you run in circles of guys that really have shaped what I come to know and why I fell in love with the American Fire Service. What does that mean to you?
Oh man, I mean, it really means everything, and I've thanked him before, but Ray has done a ton for me. I said it one time. The only person that's done more for me is my mom.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, I appreciate you guys and your willingness to sit down with us and chat. And for me, I just I take it all in. And at the end of the day, I get to go home and I get to decompress. When you go home, do you decompress? Do you go, shit, man, that was a great
Oh yeah. I joke about it sometimes, but sometimes the charge that you get at FDIC runs out a little quick.
Yeah.
You got some stuff going on at work, at home, whatever. But yeah, I love it. I look forward to it. As soon as I leave, I look forward to the next one.
Good. So what do we have next? What do you got on this? Let's talk about training seconds for a minute.
All right.
Love training seconds.
All right.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, I mean, it goes quick though. Seconds.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's just seconds.
But they are just knowledgeable nuggets. You did one in Syracuse last year. I was standing there. I watched you talk about, hey, the dumpster's on fire. Put it out.
Yeah.
Training seconds.
Training seconds, indeed.
Knowledge.
So put it out. So I'm going to roll out a new. You heard it here first. I'm going to roll out.
Oh, it's an exclusive. All right,
Live here, National Fire Radio.
National Fire Radio. I'm going to roll out a new feature. It's an offshoot called This Old Dumpster. We're going to be talking about dumpster tactics.
That is fantastic. I look forward to that. We'd be happy to work with you on that if there's anywhere we can go with that. That'd be great.
Yeah,
I'm sure it's a winner.
Oh yeah, I think so. I think it's a hole in the American Fire Service. There's just no dumpster classes. Have you ever been to one?
I haven't been to one yet.
I've never been to one, so
that's fantastic.
Been to a couple of dumpster fires classes.
Well, right. Dumpster fire classes.
Fire dynamics.
Fire dynamics.
Dumpster dynamics.
Well, I can honestly say we're running tight on time. I just want to thank you guys for sitting up here. We're going to wrap with you guys sitting here. Means the world to me that you guys came over to say hello and you're willing to sit down. So, listen, from a kid that studied and read your articles, and I'm a student of the magazine and the craft, I thank you guys, your comrades, as Ray put it yesterday. You guys really have shaped my generation. And I want to thank you for that. And I want you to take that home and think about that, because what you guys do every day with your message and the hard work that you put in, I promise you it makes a difference. And there's a lot of people out there that thank you for that. And I hope that through our content, we can do that with the next generation and the next generation after that. So thank you guys for sitting down with us today.
Thank you.
Thank you to Mercedes Textiles for having us in the booth for the last 2 days at FDIC. It's been fantastic. This is our last live feed. After this, we're going to be shutting down. They do have some giveaways, so if you're at the show later today or tomorrow, come through. Lydia's got some handouts to give you. But for the team at Mercedes Textiles, the launch of your Super 2, congratulations. For Rob and I with National Fire Radio, thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next year right here in Indianapolis. Take care. I'm Jeremy, National Fire Radio. And that's a wrap, fellas. Thank you. Thank you.